Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to Deputy White and the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2024 Culpeper County Appreciation and Valor Awards. Today, we gather together to honor and celebrate our first responders. These brave men and women in our law enforcement, fire, emergency medical, and emergency communication departments are the first to answer our calls for help. Their dedication and commitment to our safety cannot be overstated. First responders are the heart of our community's safety net. They respond to emergencies with courage and professionalism, often making split-second decisions that save lives. Their training, experience, and quick thinking enable them to handle a wide range of situations, from fires to natural disasters to medical emergencies, ensuring our well-being. And their work is not just about responding to emergencies. They're educators and advocates for safety, tirelessly working to prevent emergencies before they happen. Their efforts in promoting safety and preparedness make a significant difference in Culpeper. Our first responders are also vital to Culpeper's economy. Their efforts help to maintain a stable and secure environment, which is crucial for businesses to thrive. When businesses and residents feel safe, it fosters economic growth and attracts new investments, enhancing the overall prosperity of our community. The sacrifices our first responders make are immense. They face danger head-on, often putting their own lives at risk to protect ours. Their long hours and stressful conditions they endure are a testament to their unwavering dedication. As we gather here tonight, let us take a moment to reflect on the invaluable contributions of our first responders. They are the heroes among us, deserving our highest praise and admiration. Please join me in giving a heartfelt round of applause to all of the first responders of Culpeper County. Thank you for your service. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for supporting this important event. Our red sponsors, Fauquier Health, UVA Health Culpeper Medical Center, Culpeper County School Board, Culpeper Garden Club, Culpeper County Board of Supervisors. Our white sponsors, Atlantic Union Bank, Clore English Funeral Home, Culpeper Media Network, Culpeper Star Exponent, Dominion Energy, and Compass Community Supports, Found & Sons Funeral Chapels, INL's DJing and Productions, Steve and Carla Swan. Our blue sponsors, All Install, Bingham and Taylor, Carson Beard, Clerk of the Court, Partners First Federal Credit Union, Rappahannock Electric Cooperative, and the signature team of Remax Gateway and UVA Community Credit Union. And our Honor a Local Hero sponsors, Miss Judy James, Joe Short, Culpeper Town Council, John Russell, CEO Identity Culpeper, Miss Kelly Pearson, Stephen King Insurance Associates. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to our committee members and to the business leaders, elected officials, and community members who are here with us tonight. Your support and presence is invaluable, and your commitment to recognizing the hard work and dedication of our first responders helps strengthen the bonds within our community. In the United States Armed Forces, there's a tradition at military banquets where a separate table is set with a place setting and a cover of a military service member. The cover and place setting remind those in attendance of our departed comrades and friends who served their country with honor but have passed on to a better place. Tonight, the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce Appreciation and Valor Awards ceremony continues that tradition. To my left, you'll see a table with a place setting and a candle. The place setting and candle represent not only our comrades and friends that have fallen, but those who cannot be with us tonight due to ill health. Let us remember those who have passed away and that are near and dear to our hearts as we light a candle for them. Tonight, we will light the candle to honor and remember Captain Thomas Dawson, a remarkable individual who served Culpeper County Emergency Services with unwavering dedication for nearly 20 years. I will now invite Bill Uten, Director of the Culpeper County Department of Emergency Services, to say a few words about Captain Dawson.
Good evening, everyone. In January of 2025, I will have completed 17 years with the Culpeper County Office of Emergency Services. 16 of those years were spent working alongside Thomas Dawson, or as most everyone simply knew him and called him T. Like so many of us in this room tonight, T began his service to the community as a volunteer firefighter and EMT. In 1996 and 97, he attended and completed the Fauquier County High School firefighter program while serving as a junior member at the Warrenton Volunteer Fire Department, Company 1. He continued his service as a volunteer in Fauquier County for many years afterwards, serving as both a firefighter and a medic for the Warrenton Volunteer Fire Department, as well as the Marshall Volunteer Rescue Squad. I met T many years ago when I was a volunteer firefighter and EMT here in Culpeper County. I was participating in a first responder class being hosted by Fauquier. The very first thing that I noticed about T was his humor and his larger-than-life personality. He loved to make people laugh and was always quick with a joke or a humorous story. Little did I know then that would be the first of many, many more years I would spend with T, serving and running calls with him. In 2004, he began his career with the Culpeper County Office of Emergency Services as a full-time career responder. Later, that same year, while still also serving as a volunteer for the Marshall Rescue Squad, T and his volunteer chief were both injured while responding to a call when their 24-ton heavy rescue hit a patch of ice just before the exit 18 ramp on the westbound Interstate 66. The truck hit the embankment, he hit a tree, the vehicle overturned. The chief suffered a broken arm, and T received 5 internal and 20 external stitches from his eyebrow to his forehead. In less than a week after that accident, he was back serving the citizens of Culpeper County and also back responding to calls with his volunteer department. For 16 years, T and I worked together under various roles within the Office of Emergency Services. As frontline responders, we fought fire together. We worked severe auto accidents in just about every corner of the county, responded with law enforcement to violent traumas, and worked on critically ill patients together. Together, we experienced everything from the miracle of childbirth to the absolute tragedy of lives lost to accidents or illness in the community. sometimes experiencing that full range between miracle to tragedy in just a single shift. Most all first responders will tell you that people that routinely volunteer and work together responding to emergency calls develop a very special and unique kind of bond and relationship with one another. Unlike a lot of professions, first responders commit to a lifestyle of immediately responding to those in need. They never know from call to call if that need will be small or great. So they must stand ready for anything at any time, while both on and also when they're off duty. When you work closely with others that respond together as a team to these various kinds of calls, you begin to experience and often see things together that many could never even imagine. Those shared experiences then lend themselves to a very special connection between those individuals. I myself have been very fortunate in that I have been able to experience that sort of special and unique kind of relationship with several of those that I have worked with over the years. T was certainly one of those individuals, and we experienced a lot together over those years. The one constant through those years was T's absolute commitment to being a patient advocate first and foremost. As soon as the alarm sounded, he was immediately laser focused on the mission of providing care and intervention to whomever was being affected by that emergency. Those that knew T will tell you that he was direct, often to the point, and a no-nonsense type of first responder. He was sometimes very blunt and very plainly spoken. Those that knew him well, though, understood that his style was often driven by his true passion for what he did. Those that knew T will also tell you that he was not shy about sharing his own opinions on the topic of best practices when it comes to the services that we provide. Having very little use and or patience for politics, T was that guy who would simply tell you outright if he felt that something on a scene wasn't being done correctly or wasn't being managed or mitigated in the best interest of the patient. He was always able to back this up, however, because what a lot of people didn't know and realize about T was that he was always continuously educating himself. A lot of people simply took T at face value. A big guy with a big handlebar mustache who had a tendency to turn bright red when he became frustrated or annoyed. Underneath all of that, however, was a wealth of knowledge, experience, and dedication to his craft. I would often find him with his nose buried in a trade magazine or reviewing the latest data from a newly released national publication on fire and EMS standards. He was always striving to better himself and the department. T absolutely loved the fire and EMS service. He was proud to serve, and he was proud to wear the uniform. His dedication and commitment to that service was recognized by many of his peers, a lot of whom are in this very room tonight. What wasn't often widely recognized, however, was that that big guy with the big handlebar mustache also had an equally big heart. Now, if T were here tonight, he would adamantly deny this, preferring instead to be seen as a tough and salty fireman and a medic. But those of us that worked closely with him for many years also got to see the side of T that went far and above the call of duty. A side of him that was rooted in a simple caring for others. In 2011, T was the first to arrive on the scene of a major motor vehicle crash. In one of the vehicles that had been struck head-on by another car, there was a young married couple whom had been driving back to their apartment when the accident had occurred. During his initial assessment, he discovered that the young husband whom had been driving that vehicle had perished, most likely killed upon impact. His wife, whom was injured and also entrapped in the vehicle, was alert and oriented and also very aware that her husband had passed away. As additional units started to arrive, T assisted in the extrication of the wife and then assumed the role as the primary medic in charge of her medical care until a medevac chopper could arrive to fly her to a trauma center. As he worked on her injuries and prepped her for the flight, She shared with T that her and her husband had been driving back from looking at a new and bigger apartment for themselves and their two very small children. They had only been in the area for a few months, moving here for her husband to start a new job, and they had no other family. They had only been in, or a friend of her husband's work was babysitting the two young children for them that evening while they looked at the new apartment. Realizing that she had just lost her husband, was also now injured herself, and had no other family, she began to panic. What would she do now to take care of the children on her own, with no income, no family? The chopper arrived. T transferred her to the flight crew, and the young wife was flown from the scene. As a first responder, this is usually where the care and interaction with your patient will end, once they are transferred over to more definitive care. For T, however, he still felt that there was more that he could do to help. Without telling a soul, he checked on this young mother after she was discharged from the hospital. Then, for about 6 weeks, he personally bought and delivered groceries to this mother and her children every week to that small apartment until she could secure the personal and financial assistance that she needed to make it on her own. When I learned about this, it became very clear to me that underneath that sometimes rough and gruff exterior was the heart of a true servant to those that called upon him in their time of need. T was much more than meets the eye, and this example of his dedication and service to others that I just shared with you is but only one example over the many years that I saw of his kindness and his generosity. In years to come, T would eventually earn the rank of lieutenant and serve as a shift supervisor. Then later he would be elevated to the rank of captain, where he then oversaw the department's overall day-to-day logistical operations. He was instrumental in planning for the response to our community during the COVID-19 pandemic, assisting the health department and the county in everything from standing up mobile testing stations to organizing call centers and vaccination clinics for the community and other first responders. His contributions to those and other efforts in this community were felt and recognized by many. T would tell you, though, that his most greatest accomplishment, and the one thing that gave him the most pride and joy above all other things, was his son, Thomas. Of all the titles that T held in his life, firefighter, medic, lieutenant, captain, Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator for the department, the one title that meant the most to him and that he was most proud of was simply the title of Dad. Thomas Dawson was an accomplished and highly competent firefighter and a medic. He served for over 26 years in this capacity as both a volunteer and also a career provider. He served the citizens of Culpeper County for 19 years, from 2004 to 2023. I speak for myself and also others when I say that his service, his dedication, and his contribution to public safety in this community and others will not be soon forgotten. Thank you, T.
Thank you so much, Bill. As we light the missing man candle this evening, the flame symbolizes the light that T brought into our lives and the enduring impact of his service. We would now like to invite the members of the Dawson family to come forward to light the candle. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to welcome Reverend Trent Moore from St. Stephen's Episcopal Church to the stage to provide our invocation.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Almighty God, giver of all good things, we thank you for the natural majesty and beauty of this land. They restore us, though we often destroy them. Heal us and heal our land. We thank you for the great resources of this nation. They make us rich, though we often exploit them. Forgive us. We thank you for the men and women, especially those in this room, who have made this country strong. They are models for us, though we often fall short of them. Inspire us. We thank you for the torch of liberty, which has been lit in this land. It has drawn people from every nation, though we have often hidden from its light. Enlighten us. We thank you for the faith we have inherited in all its rich variety. It sustains our life, though we have been faithless again and again. Renew us. Help us, O Lord, to finish the good work here begun. Strengthen our efforts to blot out ignorance and prejudice, and to abolish poverty and crime, and hasten the day when all of our people, with many voices and one united chorus, will glorify your holy name. And O Judge of the nations, we remember before you with grateful hearts the men and women of our country, who in the day of decision ventured much for the liberties we now enjoy. Grant that we may not rest until all the people of this land share the benefits of true freedom and gladly accept its disciplines. This we ask in the name of Christ our Lord. And Lord, we are about to partake in a meal. We thank you so much for the hands that have prepared that meal, and may it nurture us, and may those that serve continue to serve, and may they feel honored tonight. Amen. And a personal thank you from me and from the faith community for all that each of you do for our town and our county.
Thank you, Reverend Moore. As we begin this evening of recognition and celebration, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the MC for the evening, Mr. Frank Wells. Frank Wells is a name that many of us know well. He's one of the beloved voices from 103.1 WJMA. Frank brings us the latest news, music, and stories that connect us all on a daily basis. With his warm personality and engaging presence, Frank has a unique ability to make everyone feel welcome and valued. His dedication to our community extends beyond the airwaves, as he actively participates in numerous local events and initiatives. Tonight, we're honored to have him guide us through this special occasion. Please join me in welcoming and giving a warm welcome to our MC for the evening, Frank Wells.
Hi, everybody. It is wonderful to be back with you guys again this year. Unfortunately, last year, the radio station had me out selling steak and seafood at a live broadcast on Business 29. So I want to thank Jeff Say for filling in last year. It is wonderful to be back. And again, I want to thank Amy and Sarah and Yvonne from the Chamber for having me a part of this. That was the only one I missed, and I hope not to miss any more. And again, welcome to the 2024 Valor Awards. Now, we're going to start out with our appreciation portion. We're going to run through all of the departments and everybody that has a hand in keeping this community safe. And we're going to start with the Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department, company number 1. This year, the department celebrated their centennial anniversary, proudly serving the citizens of the town and county of Culpeper with 100% volunteer fire protection and 100 years in protecting life, property, and the environment here in Culpeper. Now, the department is comprised of 68 operational, administrative, associate, and junior volunteers. Now, in 2023, they answered 916 calls, 727 fire calls, and 189 vehicle accidents. Now, the department is very proud to have been part of the Blue and Red Santa project for the last 10 years. Now, they deliver basic fire extinguisher training, teaching groups in our community how to properly use fire extinguishers in their offices and homes. Some of their major fundraising events are the annual carnival, of course, the raffle tickets, and the Fund Drive mail-out letter. Now, they deliver fire prevention to approximately 700 elementary schools, daycare facilities, and churches. Other special events include their annual open house at the station, which is in October. We hope you can make it. 4th of July, of course. They stand by for the fireworks displays to keep everybody safe, and many other events in the town when they are requested. We would like to show our appreciation for Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department, Company Number 1. If we could have you folks come on up. Next up, we're going to show our appreciation for Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department, Company Number 2. Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department has provided volunteer service to our community for 73 years. Our department is 100% volunteer, consisting of approximately 70 members who work very hard to uphold their mission statement and strive for nothing less than excellence. In 2023, the volunteers logged 13,057 hours, whether it be for emergency calls, training, fundraising, or many of the other events, and the average response time actually is about 5 minutes and 3 seconds. Now, they attend numerous public education classes for schools, churches, and daycares, as well as the Touch a Truck events, such as National Night Out, the Egg Extravaganza, Easter Egg Hunt, Culpeper Fest, and several others. They host the annual Firemen's Parade and Fair and the Fall Car Show. They've also hosted their 3rd Junior Rookie Camp and welcomed over 60 kids, ages 6 to 15, in their 5-day camp. And they just signed a new tanker that will be delivered in the spring of 2026 for roughly $611,000. It's actually going to replace the current 31-year-old tanker. Ladies and gentlemen, we show our appreciation for Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department, Company Number 2. Next, we show our appreciation for the Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, Company Number 6. As of June 21st, 2024, they celebrated their 53-year service to the community and Culpeper County. The agency has a membership of 54 volunteers, 4 fire apparatus, 2 ambulances, 3 response support vehicles, and an all-terrain specialty vehicle. Richardsville has the only water rescue team in Culpeper County. The team boasts 9 certified swift water rescue providers, boat divers, and support personnel trained in swift water basics. The team is equipped with a motorized Zodiac, 10 canoes, and various forms of safety and life-saving equipment. Their auxiliary members have earned quite the reputation for serving outstanding meals, taking care of our members during emergency calls, and sponsoring various seasonal activities to serve all of the families here in the Culpeper community. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Richardsville Volunteer Fire Department and Rescue Squad, Company Number 6. We're now going to show our appreciation for the Salem Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Salem Volunteer Fire Department was established in 1979 by members of the local community with a mission to reducing loss of life and property. The department is staffed entirely of volunteers and operates fire and emergency services in the western end of the county. Mutual aid is also provided to Rappahannock County if requested. The department has approximately 89 volunteers, and in 2023, the department received 480 calls for service. They also have a junior membership for young adults aged 14 to 18. Canteen 8 is the vehicle that provides first responders on the scene of large incidents within the county with the proper hydration and nutrition needed to stay healthy and effective during an operation. They currently host monthly concerts, and I think we have one coming up soon, with food and beverage services, as well as the annual golf tournament, the Dickie Adkins Memorial Tournament, which is coming up in August, and the annual car show that just happened in May. They also rent this hall, which is a beautiful hall, for rentals and private events. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Salem Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 8. Next, we show our appreciation for Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 9. Since 1994, the mission of the Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company members have been to protect the quality of life and the social, economic, and environmental infrastructure of the northern end of Culpeper County. They also offer the only technical large animal rescue team in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The team and equipment is available to respond to calls across Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia for equine, bovine, and other animal-related emergency incidents. You may actually hear my morning guy on WJMA rave about you guys. Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company is a 100% volunteer organization. Currently, Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company 9 has 118 members and responded to 900 incidents in 2023. The company saved $3,888,000 in property in the calendar year and saved an additional $10,450 in livestock value. Some of the fundraising events there include Warrenton's Hunt Point-to-Point races, the Little Fork VFRC annual spring trail ride, the Fill the Boat, and they are part of Give Local Piedmont. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Little Fork Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 9. Next, we show our appreciation for the Rapidan Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 10. Rapidan was founded in 1978 by a few men who wanted to make a difference and help their local citizens. The first fire truck serving the department was a 1959 Ford pumper tanker donated by the Mine Run Volunteer Fire Department in Orange. Since then, they've upgraded to 4 fire pieces, 3 support trucks, and 1 specialty apparatus. Last year, 25 members responded to 171 calls. They offer fire and emergency protection services for Culpeper, Madison, and Orange County citizens. Rapidan does a fundraising dinner every quarter, which includes pulled pork barbecue, pork loin, barbecue chicken. They have the raffle committee that will raffle off various items throughout the year to raise money for the building addition to house their light and air apparatus. And tonight we honor and appreciate the Rapidan Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company number 10. Ice Cream Social, 27th? At Outback. All right. Make sure you're there. Next up, we show our appreciation for the Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad, company number 11. The Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad was founded in 1942 by William H. Carper. Initially, the squad relied on donated equipment and members trained in Red Cross first aid. Their first vehicle was a second-hand truck. Despite these humble beginnings, the community's unwavering support has allowed this squad to flourish. They have been providing EMS services to the Culpeper community, both reactively responding to emergency calls and providing preventative services such as community CPR classes and sheltering those in need during extreme weather conditions and natural disasters. The team has 50 and has responded to about 1,200 calls just last year. They provide EMS standby assistance at various public events around the county on an ongoing basis. And tonight we appreciate the Culpeper County Volunteer Rescue Squad, company number 11. We show our appreciation next for the Culpeper County Emergency Services. For many years, Culpeper County operated under a strictly volunteer fire rescue response system. However, in 1999, prompted in part by the increasing overall growth of the county and the population, and the subsequent increases in 911 emergency fire and rescue related calls, the decision was actually made by the county to provide full-time career staffing to assist with the growing demand for services. The Office of Emergency Services, Company 12, provides 24/7 around-the-clock coverage via a full-time staff divided into 4 separate shifts that work 24-hour duty assignments. The team of 37 responded to 5,691 calls in 2023. The Office of Emergency Services is staffed by full-time emergency medical technicians, firefighters, and emergency management professionals. The department provides first responder support and also assists in the development of emergency operations plans for a number of annual special events throughout the county each year. They also provide life-saving training classes to other public safety as well as non-public safety county departments. And tonight we honor Culpeper County Emergency Services, company number 12. Next, we show our appreciation for the Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Riva was founded in 1995 by a group of local citizens that saw a growing need for emergency services in Riva and the surrounding areas. The department began responding to calls with an ambulance that was stored at a member's garage and a fire truck that was stored in Samuel James Construction's garage. Now, in 1996, they moved into their current location. Today, they operate a fleet of 5 fire and rescue apparatus and 2 chase cars. They have approximately 35 operational and support members. In 2023, Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue Company responded to 481 calls. Additionally, they host critical EMS training for local and regional organizations. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Riva Volunteer Fire and Rescue, company number 16. Next, we show our appreciation for Culpeper County Animal Services. They were founded in 1996 as a small county agency of 3 employees that has grown along with our beloved county to a 10-person department, employing officers and shelter staff. They provide service for all animal-related incidents, from homeless pets to cases of animal cruelty and neglect. The department also operates the animal shelter, which provides all care for unowned animals in the county, as well as animal adoptions. Their officers responded to over 1,400 calls for service during 2023. The department holds several events per year with an aim to bolster animal adoptions, as well as to provide education to our community regarding animal care. And tonight we show our appreciation for Culpeper County Animal Services. Next, we show our appreciation for the Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center. The Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center was established in 1998 and operated from the old dispatch center right across from the courthouse. In 2005, the new dispatch center was finished and was operational and has been operational since. In 2023, the 18 emergency communication specialists entered about 65,000 calls into the computer-aided dispatch system. They received 22,224 emergency calls and 83,236 calls on their non-emergency line. Smart 911 is a free service used by public safety agencies across the county to enhance communication and response for their community. Text to 911 allows individuals who are unable to speak or even hear to communicate directly with emergency services via text messages, providing crucial access for the deaf or hard of hearing, and in situations where speaking could be dangerous and endanger the caller. Always call 911 during an emergency when you can, and text 911 when you can't. National Public Safety Telecommunications Week is observed annually during the second full week of April. This week is dedicated to recognizing and celebrating the vital contributions of telecommunicators, dispatchers, and other emergency communication professionals who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure public safety. And we show our appreciation for Culpeper County Public Safety Communications Center. Unfortunately, they could not be with us. Next up, the Culpeper Town Police Department. The Town of Culpeper Police Department was founded on June 15th, 1956, when Ray F. Jameson was named chief of the Culpeper Police over just a handful of officers. The Culpeper Police Department has been continuously accredited by the International Commission of Accreditation for Law Enforcement since 2005. As a full-service agency, they are comprised of 5 divisions: patrol, community policing, criminal investigations, street crimes, and administrative. They also contain multiple specialty units to include canines and others. In 2023, they responded to 16,855 calls for service. They filed 2,854 incident reports and investigated 1,157 crimes, as well as 671 vehicle crashes. In 2023, they assisted and or participated in over 150 events in the town of Culpeper. Neighborhood watch programs, bi-monthly combined neighborhood watch meetings, mental health co-responder programs, the Youth Law Enforcement Explorers Program, Hidden in Plain Sight, and of course the Blue and Red Project. Their officers are also very active and members of other organizations, such as the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Task Force, the Reentry Committee, Aging Together, the Culpeper Triad, Healthy Culpeper, and Culpeper Teen Empowerment. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Culpeper Town Police Department. Next, we show our appreciation for the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. The Culpeper County Sheriff's Office has a long history dating back to the establishment of the county in 1749. Initially, the office was primarily responsible for maintaining law and order in a largely rural area. In recent decades, the Sheriff's Office has modernized its operations by incorporating advanced technology, specialized units, and extensive training programs. The Department of 140 responded to 47,266 calls last year, and they run several programs: Star Cadets, the Summer Youth Sports Camps and Youth Academy, DARE, Project Lifesaver, the Concealed Handgun Classes, Police Canines, and several others. And they would like you to join them for the very first consolidated gathering of National Night Outs at the Culpeper Sports Complex coming up August 6th of this year. You can come out for food and fun and fellowship and enjoy games and live music. There's going to be canine demonstrations and activities for all ages, and there you will get a chance to meet your local deputies and learn about those safety programs I just mentioned. Tonight, we show our appreciation for the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. Next, we show our appreciation for the Virginia State Police. State Police Area 15 officers, or off the office, covers the counties of Culpeper, Madison, and Orange, and has 15 troopers. The office is currently staffed by a first sergeant, 2 sergeants, and 1 office administrator, and 8 troopers. These 8 troopers responded to a total of 12,470 calls for service, investigated 1,234 total crashes, 22 fatalities, and made 4,605 traffic stops and issued 5,906 summonses. Their troopers have attended numerous safety talks and community events at schools, churches, and local organizations: National Night Out, Touch a Truck, Back to School, parades, State Fair, Special Olympics, and many other community events, as well as 198 special assignments and 18 special events. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Virginia State Police. Next, we're going to show our appreciation for PHI Air Care 6, who were with us earlier, but unfortunately had to get going. PHI Air Medical has been in operation since 1949. In 1981, PHI introduced Aero Medical Services, now called PHI Air Medical, one of the fastest growing providers of EMS helicopter support in the nation. Air Care 6 was established in March of 2021 at the Culpeper Airport. Now, this is the 6th added PHI base in Virginia and the 7th in the region, to include Baltimore. In 2023, PHI Air Care 6 provided 309 patient transports. And tonight we show our appreciation for PHI Air Care 6. Last, we're going to show our appreciation for the Department of Wildlife Resources. On May 14, 1903, the Virginia General Assembly enacted legislation during a special session to establish a statewide system of wildlife law enforcement officers to deal specifically with wildlife crime. From that point through 2007, these officers were called game wardens. They're now known as conservation police officers. The Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources has 160 on its staff, And in 2023, they answered 101 calls. They provide hunter education and workshops, boater safety classes, and even kids fishing programs. They offer public events to support hunting and fishing education as requested by constituents. And tonight we show our appreciation for the Department of Wildlife Resources. Ladies and gentlemen, again, please put your hands together and show appreciation. Thanks to each and every one of those departments for what they do each and every day in our community. Now we have a special segment here. On July 16th, 2023, the town of Culpeper lost an iconic restaurant, Baby Jim's Snack Bar, to a devastating fire. Over 70 fire and EMS personnel responded to the blaze, representing multiple departments, including Culpeper, Volunteer Fire, Brandy Station, Salem, Little Fork Fire and EMS, Rapidan, Riva, the Culpeper Career EMS, Warrenton, which provided a second tower and ladder, Orleans and Castleton, our neighbors, and the Amosville Fire Departments. The fire consumed the beloved establishment despite their combined efforts, leaving the community mourning the loss of a very, very cherished local institution, one that I'm sure a lot of us will miss for many, many years to come because the food was delicious. And we'd like to turn your attention to the screen, folks. We've got a special video to show you.
Culpeper 911, where's your emergency?
Yes, this is Baby Jim's. We need the fire department. Something's caught on fire in the back here. We're out of the building, but we need them right away.
Baby Jim's right above it. Smoke's coming out of the windows of the house.
It was 12:47 when it was dispatched, and the first report was that there was smoke coming from Baby Jim's and smoke coming on the first and second floors of the building above. Career staff from the EMS agency in town had actually gone to the second floor to do a primary search and did not find anyone. And at that time, second and third due engines were arriving, where we were continuing to stretch hand lines and beginning our fire attack, both in the snack bar and on the first floor.
So it was a mass amount of people, but it was calculated chaos, if that's a way to say anything. And it was like clockwork. They were running pieces in and out. They were running squads of guys in and out of there. But it was chaotic. I mean, you're seeing those guys walking into something that it looked like 50, 60 feet of blaze up in flames, and these guys were rolling right in there. You know, that was the big joke with police all of our whole life is we run to gunshots, but they run to flames. And that day we got to see the flames in action. It was a huge fire, and those guys were right in the middle of it for the entire thing.
It moved quickly. It moved from the basement to the first floor, and before we knew it, we had fire in the attic within a few minutes.
It was blazing hot. We were bringing in waters. There was canteen trucks coming from a couple of the fire agencies.
It was in the mid-90s. Humidity was like 70%. Fighting the fire with all that gear and the heat conditions, the firefighters were going to become exhausted after 20, 30 minutes. So we needed additional help. And that was the reason that we needed additional resources from outside the county.
I remember Salem, Brandy, Culpeper, Riva. There was some coming from Fauquier.
Whatever the case may be, I'm helping to get those resources, and at the same time I'm working with other agencies to, like law enforcement, to get the streets closed, letting town water know that we're going to be flowing copious amounts of water at this fire, and working with dispatch to orchestrate, again, additional resources coming to the scene.
Yes, it's a collaborative team effort amongst all parties involved. I think we're all trying to achieve the same goals. Maybe go about it a little differently, but I think that's, it's the communication that we have allows us to work where it seems seamlessly when it comes to these type of incidents.
I think to have all of those agencies there, when you're talking about all the fire agencies, all the police agencies, all the onlookers, the amount of spectators that were there, but the unity between all those fire command, all the unity between the police, dispatch, everything that was going on, I think that's what makes this community so strong.
I think we're very fortunate here in Culpeper to have these professionals that are really dedicated to the service and of serving Culpeper and the citizens.
We all trained for Unified Command, but that day it came together, and everybody did exactly what they were trained to do. It doesn't matter if you're volunteer, if you're professional, either way, there's a job to do, and that's what these guys did. They did the job that day. But it showed how strong the volunteer group is in this county, and it also showed the unity between law enforcement, dispatch, rescue, fire department, everything. It was a huge win when you see that piece, but a huge loss for Culpeper for losing Baby Jones.
It was a very difficult Sunday afternoon for many of the locals because Baby Jim's has been there for so long, and there were people who were just upset, crying over it, citizens bringing us water, the local restaurants bringing us food since we were there an extended period of time. The community outreach at that moment was a really good, feel-good moment for the community, even during this tragic loss.
And Baby Jim's will be forever missed. And we want to thank each and every one of you that were there that day if you're with us here today. And we'd like to thank Johnny and Culpeper Media for putting that together. Thank you so much. Next up, another special presentation before we get to our Valor Awards. You heard me mention earlier that we have a department celebrating 100 years of dedicated service, 1924 to 2024. This is presented with gratitude to the brave men and women who have selflessly served our community. Your courage and your commitments are an inspiration to us all. This is presented by the Culpeper Chamber of Commerce to the Culpeper County Volunteer Fire Department, celebrating 100 years of dedicated service. If we could get you guys to come up here real quick. "100 years. I guess there's going to be a few more departments in the future we'll be doing that for. All right, to our Valor portion of tonight's program. Our first Valor Award is going to be presented to First Sergeant Rick McKinley and Deputy Hunter Makeley. I hope I got your last name right, Hunter. On March 14th, 2024, First Sergeant Rick McKinley and Deputy Hunter Makeley were on patrol, actively searching for a wanted individual who had violated a protective order. Their diligent efforts led them to the 7-Eleven parking lots on James Monroe Highway, where they located the suspect in a vehicle. Upon Deputy Makeley making contact, the suspect attempted to evade arrest by driving recklessly at a high rate of speed, in reverse through the busy parking lot, endangering numerous civilians. Demonstrating exceptional tactical skills and bravery, Deputy Makeley and First Sergeant McKinley quickly intervened, successfully pinning the suspect's vehicle next to the gas pumps using their assigned patrol vehicles. First Sergeant McKinley engaged the suspect in conversation, attempting to de-escalate the situation and convince him to exit the vehicle. During this tense exchange, the suspect declared that he was armed with a firearm, escalating the danger. Maintaining their composure, the deputies established a close perimeter and swiftly evacuated the store and the immediate area to ensure the safety of all patrons and staff. Utilizing drones for surveillance provided by the Culpeper Police Department, they continuously monitored the suspect's movements inside the vehicle. Incident command was established and coordinated efforts were made to peacefully resolve the standoff. Throughout the negotiations, the suspect repeatedly attempted to escape by reversing his truck and colliding with the deputies' vehicles. After numerous failed attempts to get the suspect to surrender peacefully, the decision was made to deploy gas to force him out of the vehicle. The deployment of gas was effective, and the suspect exited the vehicle. Despite initially pretending to have a weapon in his waistband, the deputies, with the aid of drone surveillance, confirmed that he was unarmed. Demonstrating remarkable restraint and control, they deployed a taser to safely apprehend the suspect. The courageous actions of First Sergeant McKinley and Deputy Makeley prevented a potentially disastrous situation. Their quick thinking, tactical expertise, and unwavering dedication to public safety ensured that no civilians were harmed, and the suspect was taken into custody without any serious injuries. Their conduct during this high-risk incident exemplifies the highest standards of valor and professionalism in law enforcement. And tonight, we honor, with our first Valor Award from the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office, First Sergeant Rick McKinley and Deputy Hunter Makeley. Next, we show our appreciation and present a Valor Award to Robert Mackison, engineer. On August 17th at 4:07, engine companies 1, 2, 8, and 16 were dispatched to a house fire on Abbey Road. Dispatch reported a fire in the garage, and Grandma was stuck on the front porch. Robert Mackison, a 45-year veteran of the Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department, was at home getting ready to leave for his regular duty shift at the firehouse. He heard the call dispatched, and he just so happened to live just a couple of houses away when he ran outside and could see the smoke and the fire. With his quick intuition and years of experience, he knew time was of the essence. Instead of coming to the firehouse, he drove to his neighbor's home, where he found the garage fully involved and spreading rapidly into the house. On the front porch was Grandma, stranded in her wheelchair, while the fire raged behind her front door. He immediately ran to assist her, picked her up, and carried her to safety in the front yard, sat her down, then went back to retrieve her wheelchair. He then contacted the dispatch center to advise them that Grandma was off the porch and updated them with a current fire condition or conditions. Responding units arrived and took her to be evaluated for medical treatment. He then assisted engine crews by getting hose lines in place to begin attacking the fire. As the crew made an aggressive offense push through the front door, they encountered a flashover. They retreated from the front porch and transitioned to a defensive operation. Grandma had been sitting on that same porch just minutes before. One could only imagine what was running through her head. It must have seemed like an eternity to Grandma and her family. However, everything just mentioned happened in a mere 14 minutes. Unfortunately, the fire progressed rapidly despite valiant efforts of the 18 firefighters from Brandy, along with many others from all over the county. The home, unfortunately, was a total loss. And for his actions, we honor with a Valor Award tonight from the Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department, Robert Mackison. Our last Valor recipient is Lieutenant Jacob Neal with the Culpeper Town Police Department. On behalf of the Culpeper Police Department, they are honored to nominate Lieutenant Jacob Neal for the prestigious Chamber of Commerce Valor Award in recognition of his extraordinary bravery and quick thinking during a recent incident involving a citizen in a mental health crisis. Mental Health America reports that 20.7% of adults experience a mental illness, and did so in 2019 to 2022, which translates to over 50 million Americans. The National Institute of Mental Health provides similar statistics indicating that in 2021, approximately 57.8 million adults aged 18 or older experienced a mental illness in the past year, representing 22.8% of all U.S. adults. On May 12th of 2024, Lieutenant Neal responded to a distress call involving an individual experiencing a mental health crisis on the bridge of Germanna Highway. Upon arrival at the scene, Lieutenant Neal assessed the situation and observed the individual on the edge of the bridge with a rope tied around his neck, preparing to jump. Understanding the gravity and urgency of the situation, Lieutenant Neal acted with exceptional courage and presence of mind. Utilizing the element of surprise, while motioning bystanders to distract the subject, he carefully and quietly approached the individual, ultimately tacking him to the ground before he could jump. This swift and decisive action prevented serious bodily injury or a likely fatal outcome with oncoming traffic below the bridge on James Madison Highway. Following the initial intervention, Captain Shuck with the Salem Volunteer Fire Department assisted in securing the individual safely to the ground. Shortly thereafter, another officer arrived to aid in removing the rope from around the individual's neck, further ensuring his safety. The subject was taken into custody under an officer-initiated under an officer initialed emergency custody order and transported to the hospital for evaluation. Lieutenant Neal's actions on that day exemplified the highest standards of bravery, quick thinking, and dedication to the safety and well-being of our community members. His willingness to place himself in harm's way to save another's life is a testament to his valor and commitment to his duty as a law enforcement officer. For the above stated reasons, the Culpeper Town Police Department endorsed Lieutenant Neal for the Chamber of Commerce Valor Award. His actions not only saved a life, but also exemplified the courage and selflessness that award seeks to honor. They thank you for the consideration, and we would like to present our last Valor Award to Lieutenant Jacob Neal with the Culpeper Town Police Department. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the applause going and congratulate our 2024 Valor Award recipients from the Culpeper County Sheriff's Office. First Sergeant Rick McKinley and Deputy Hunter Makeley. From the Brandy Station Volunteer Fire Department, Robert Mackison. And from the Culpeper Town Police Department, Lieutenant Jacob Neal. All right, I have a little short story I'm going to share with you guys before Amy wraps up and we can all go home. Last week, I was laying on the couch, falling asleep. It's where I usually end my day, probably like many of you. I was watching one of the late night talk shows, the one that starts at 10, not the late night stuff. There was a segment where they were doing the viewer mail. People would mail in the questions. And the question was, and I was trying to remember, I was a little groggy. I think it was, what gives you faith? Or what makes you think that this country is moving in the right direction? Or what are you thankful for? It was along those lines. I can't remember correctly. But the responses, they were the normal. Faith in God, the freedoms that we all share. There was one panelist, and you may have seen this, I'm not sure, who said one thing that stood out in my mind, and I wanted to make sure that I remembered this to tell you guys, because I knew I was coming here tonight. His response was the fact that we are moving in the right direction when each of our first responders show up for work every day. I'm not a member of the Culpeper community. I'm a Louisa County resident. But I've been talking to you guys through the radio for 17 years now. And I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do on a daily basis. And thank you for coming into work each and every day.
As we draw this memorable evening to a close, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us tonight. This ceremony has been a celebration of dedication, courage, and the unwavering spirit of those who go above and beyond in their service. And it is our honor to be able to recognize these individuals in our community who embody the best of humanity. Again, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, our committee members. Your support and hard work have really made this event possible, and your commitment to honoring and appreciating those who serve is commendable and deeply appreciated. If you had received a Valor Award this evening, we'd like to invite you to please take home one of the beautiful centerpieces that were provided to us by the Culpeper Garden Club. Thank you all very much and have a wonderful evening.